Hi, my name's Brendan and I'm going to be covering the rethreaded figure of 8 with a stopper knot. Now the rethreaded figure of 8 with a stopper knot is the most commonly used method for a climber to tie into their rope. Now there's two reasons that support this. Firstly, it's the easiest one to learn. Secondly, when you're doing your buddy checks before you climb, it's easy to see whether or not it's been tied correctly. Now I'm going to break down this subject into 5 stages. The first one, measuring out the correct length of rope. The second one, tying the initial figure of 8. Third one, threading your rope correctly through your harness. Fourth, rethreading your original figure of 8. And the fifth one being tying your stopper knot. So to correctly measure out the length of rope, grab the end that you're going to tie into, bring it up to your chest with both hands. Keep one hand up against the chest and with your other hand, pull it out 1 arm's length. And then pull out another length to your shoulder. That should give you the correct amount of rope. Now pinching the rope in the hand that was staying against your chest, take a hold of the 2 strands that are sitting beneath it and give it 2 half twists. 1 half, the second half. We've now created a loop of rope. Using the tail end of the rope, come in from behind and thread it through the loop. And here we've created the initial figure of 8. Now the next step is to thread your rope through your harness correctly. Now you've got 2 tie-in points on your harness, being the top tie-in point and the bottom tie-in point. Now it doesn't matter which way you start, whether you thread the rope up or down. I like to thread it coming straight up. Now I take the tail end of the rope and I thread it through the first tie-in point down the bottom. Now be mindful that there is elastic down there. You want to make sure that you thread the rope between the elastic and the padded tie-in point. Now continuing up through the top tie-in point, pull the tail of rope through until your figure of 8 is sitting comfortably up against your harness. Now the next step is to rethread your original figure of 8 that you tied. Again, getting the tail end of the rope, come up through the bottom of the figure of 8, parallel to the rope that's coming out of the bottom of it. Now, like train tracks go side by side and they never jump. So let's follow that principle while we're rethreading the figure of 8. Bringing the rope around, side by side, rethreading it. Going under when the original figure of 8 goes under and over when the original figure of 8 goes over. All the way through until the tail end of the rope has come out at the front of the original figure of 8. Alright, so what we're going to do now is not tighten the figure of 8, we're going to cinch it. And cinching effectively is removing any slack out of the system and just securing that knot in place. We do that by taking the rethreaded figure of 8 in your left hand, taking the other 2 strands that are coming out the front in your other hand, holding the figure of 8 in place and just pull it a little bit. Now don't be concerned if some of the threads start to pop under the others, that's going to happen. Now the final stage is to tie your stopper knot. Now use a rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is get your thumb and place the base of your thumb at the top of the rethreaded figure of 8, running along the rope. Bringing the tail end of the rope up to the top of your thumb, wrap it around your thumb and then continue to wrap it down over your thumb and over the rope. Do that at least 2 times and then with whatever remaining tail you have, remove your thumb and slide that tail up through where your thumb was before. Cinch the stopper knot and there you have it, a rethreaded figure of 8 with a stopper knot.